Baseplan Presents video focuses on a simple way to create an equipment rental revenue Power BI dashboard, focusing on the following areas: pulling data using the Baseplan Analytics database, applying filters to the Power BI dashboards, building different types of visualizations, breaking down rental revenue by the equipment hierarchy, linking Power BI visualizations together.
I'm currently logged into an instance of Baseplan Enterprise. And as you can see on this homepage, we can actually set up dashboards to display here from a tool like Power BI, for example. Now, these dashboards can be configured so only certain users can see certain dashboards, or we can make it that you apply a dashboard for all users, or you can do a combination of both. Now, during this webinar, we want to talk about how we can actually report on some of our equipment rental revenue. So rather than just look at the dashboards, we're actually going to go through and actually create one during the webinar. So I'm just going to open up Power BI. And so Power BI is a Microsoft tool, and it allows you to connect to certain data sources. And one of these data sources that we're going to connect to now is called the Baseplan Analytics database. So this will let you create data and dashboards in here, and then report on them, and then display them and share them out to different users based upon their security limits. So I've kind of got a blank page open, and you can see here I've got filters, visualizations, and fields. Now, when we talk through reporting on rental revenue, the best way to report on it is by reporting directly against the general ledger. Because remember, every time we post a transaction in the system, it's automatically going to create a general ledger journal against that relative account, and you can report on it, whether it be a piece of equipment, whether it be the location that you want to report on, whether it be the company, or whatever the scenario is that you want to break that information down by. So we're going to really focus on the different equipment hierarchy and how we can actually generate a dashboard. So what I can do is I can start off by choosing a visualization that I want to start making up my dashboard. So I can say a tree map, for example, and a blank visualization appears on the blank screen. So I can drag this out to where I want it to sit. And once I've chosen my set location, I need to choose a field that's going to populate that dashboard. So I can go over here and choose my GL journals table. And I want to look for the field that's going to hold the data where my credit amounts are being stored. So that field is called credit amount. So I can either search for the field, or I can scroll down and find credit amount and drag that onto the visualization. You can see here, it creates a dashboard based upon the values in there. Now we want to look at credit amount by something. So what we can do is we can go over here and look at the different fields, and maybe we want to look at all of our credit amounts by maybe make. So I can drag make onto that dashboard. You can see here it's trying to create the dashboard again. We can see there's a lot of blanks here. So not every credit transaction is going to have a make in the system. So what we can actually do is we can click on this visualization, head over to filters, and we can actually filter out the blanks. So we can select all. We don't want to see blank. So now we're looking at the credit amounts against each of the different makes in the system. Now, maybe you want to look at it by category as well. So what we can do is, rather than clicking on another visualization, we can actually click on the current one, Control C, and we can paste it and drag it into the location that we want. And instead of having the same one, we can actually create a separate visualization. So maybe we want it to be a pie chart this time. And instead of make, we're going to look for maybe category of equipment. So I can go up and look for category. I can drag category on there. And we want to get rid of make. So over here on the right in the visualization section, you've got the legend. So I can get rid of make, and I can drag category up. Here we go. Now, this isn't the neatest layouts. We can actually change the layouts of visualizations as well. So I can click on this, and I can go to format, and I can say I want to get rid of the legend, for example. So it gives it a bit more room. Then we can go down to detail label, and we can change what the label is going to say. So I can say I want it to be the category plus the data value. So now we can see the different categories in here, and then we can see the value against it as well. Now, we dragged across credit amount, but that's showing me all of my credit amounts in the system. We really want to just look at the account code in the general ledger that's relating to rental, whether it be rental revenue or whether it be re-rent or whether it be transport or whatever it might be that we want to report on, or damage, whatever it might be that we want to report on under that rental banner. So what we can do is we can actually create a filter to filter everything on the screen by a particular account code or a rental reporting group in the general ledger. So if we go down here, we can maybe choose one of our report groups and we can drag the reporting group onto the filter. We can see here, I've created a reporting group called rental revenue. So I can click on that and you'll see that the data now is only showing me figures that fall under the reporting group called rental revenue. Now I can continue to make this, and everything that I create on this dashboard is now only going to show me credit amounts where the reporting group is rental. Now, maybe not everyone understands what credit amount actually means, so we can actually rename things as well. So we can go over here and find the field credit amount. We can rename it. So I can right click and go rename. I can call it rental revenue. And that'll change the naming convention on all the different visualizations that we're creating as well. Now, maybe we want to report on model. So what we can do is we can go down here and we can copy this visualization like we did before. We can paste one down here. And maybe this time we want it to be more of a grid. So we can click on matrix. And instead of category, we want to look at model. So I can go over here and find model. So there's model. We can get rid of the category. So in this row, we can say we don't want category anymore. We want model description. So that's going to show me all of my different model descriptions in here with the rental revenue and the total rental revenue as well. Now, maybe I want to look at the percentage of rental revenue. So I can click on this visualization. I can head over here and I can say show value as. We say a percentage of grand total. We can filter by the highest number. And maybe we want to rename this as well. So we can go over here to values. I want to call it percentage of rental revenue. Now, maybe we also want to see the rental revenue number against there as well. So we can actually go back here to find rental revenue and drag it on again. So now we can see the percentage of rental revenue and also the figure as well. And then maybe you want to look at maybe the revenue against the particular months of the year. So we can go over here and we can maybe choose a different visualization. You can see when I click on it, it puts it in the spot automatically where it's meant to be fitting. So maybe I want to look at my rental revenue again. I can drag that on. So it's showing me my total rental revenue. And maybe I want to look at my month. So I can go month and drag that in there. So it's showing me all of my months in here as well. Now maybe at the moment, we're not actually scoping the year. So this is showing me my rental revenue forever. So what we can do is we can actually add filters in here, and it's actually called slices in Power BI. So maybe we want to create a little bit more room so we can actually put a filter in here. We can drag this across. Let's drag this one across. And maybe we want to go up here and click on slicer. We can drag the slicer over here, put in the location, and we want to filter things by the different years. So I can go to my GL journals, I can look for year. I can go period, year, drag it on there, and it's showing me my different years now. And I can make this a bit smaller. I can say I only want to see things for 2020, for example. And maybe I want to look at my locations as well. So I can maybe copy this, drag this down, and I want to look for my branch. So I want to get rid of my period. I'm going to go drag maybe my branch code. So now I can start filtering by the year, and I can also maybe say all I want to look at is a particular location. It will show me the revenue for that location as well. Now, when I've created this type of dashboard, whenever I click on something like Bobcat, for example, it's going to filter everything else on that dashboard based upon that item that I've clicked on. So they're all connected together. And then when I finish building this up, and you might want to change the layout around a little bit or whatever you want to do in this scenario, you can then start publishing this and sharing it with other users in the system and make it appear as part of their Baseplan homepage when they log in. Now, not everyone has the skill set or time to create Power BI dashboards. However, reporting on your data allows you to analyze the past to make more informed decisions for the future. So if this is something that you need help with, please reach out to Baseplan and we would be happy to assist. And that just about wraps up today's session. Following the webinar, there'll be a short survey, and this will give you the opportunity to request future topics and provide general feedback. I look forward to seeing everyone in a future Baseplan Presents webinar.